Hey y'all, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking to you guys about different tips and tricks to help your hair grow, especially if you know you're natural, but these tips will work for all types of hair types. So the first tip I have is to wash with your fingertips. So a lot of people, when they wash their hair, they use their nails because their hair is like really itchy and they think that if they use their fingernails it'll get their hair cleaner. Wrong. This actually is bad for your hair because when you're scratching it, you're scratching the hair follicles too roughly, and that's what stunts the growth. And that also gives so when you scratch your hair, and especially when it's wet, when your scalp is wet, it's more easy to get cuts and bruises and stuff like that. So if you scratch your hair with your fingertips, you're more likely to have a sore and bruised up scalp, and it stunts your hair growth. And it also makes your scalp be more dried out because when you're using your nails, you're also scratching out the natural oils that your hair produces. So it's best to use your fingertips and just gently massage it, because when you gently massage it, it may not feel like you're cleansing your hair, but you're cleansing your hair while keeping your natural oils in there. And the second tip is to deep condition twice a month. When I say deep condition, you can use your regular regular deep condition treatment, or you can use like a hair mask. Like some people make their own with honey, mayonnaise, different natural ingredients, but something like a deep condition at least twice a month. Some people deep condition every time they wash their hair, but it can cause too much buildup in your hair. So if you leave a product in your hair for too long, it'll start to build up and you can feel like it'll be like a film on your hair. So with deep conditioning, you're only supposed to do it twice a month because it builds up too much moisture. When you do deep conditioning, also use heat. So if you put a shower cap over your hair, that keeps everything in, but if you're keeping your hair out, I would say go under the dryer or something, because when your hair is under heat, that helps the moisture penetrate through the scalp and actually go through the hair follicles better than letting it air dry or something. And the next one is moisturization. Well, moisturization / consistency. Especially with natural hair, because natural hair tends to be a bit more thicker and more coarse, and it tends to soak up products easier. So when you keep your hair moisturized, that's one way to make sure your hair will keep growing, on a consistent basis. And also when your hair is moisturized, it's easier to maintain and to style. So when you wash your hair, make sure you keep it moisturized. When you feel it getting dry, moisturize and really focus on the ends and in the scalp. So the middle part is, important too, but when you're trying to make sure this part needs to get moisturized, make sure the ends and the scalp, those are the two most important places. Let's see, protective styles. Okay. Now with protective styles, I would say if you're doing like right now, if you do a braid down with the wig on or something, keep that in for, I would say, at the least 1.5 months. This gives your hair time to grow with no interruptions, no messing with it. 1.5 months is where you can keep your hair in one style, but it won't get too matted. Because if you leave your hair in braids or something for too long, it'll get matted and hard to take out. So 1.5 months is I would say the minimum, because it gives your hair time to grow. Because I know for me, for example, so when I used to get box braids, I wouldn't keep them in for that long. And when I would take them out, I'd be like, well, why hasn't my hair grown? It's because I didn't give it a chance to, So keeping it in for 1.5 months, that's a good time period. Also, if you're going to do protective styles for over a course of months or years, you need to make sure you do it every other month. And what I mean by that is letting your hair breathe. Because one problem I see is that when people, do protective styles, they'll go overboard with it. All you see them with is braids or a sewing or a wig or something, which is nothing wrong with that. But when you do it too consistently, when your hair doesn't get a chance to breathe, it's not really going to make your hair grow. Your hair is still going to grow, but what's going to happen is, so your hair will grow, right? And then your ends will be really bad. So your hair it'll be a continuous cycle of your hair growing longer and longer, but your ends are getting more dead. So it's so let's say, for example, let's say this hair strand, let's say it's growing. The more it grows, the more the ends start to split. So the more it grows, the ends keep splitting. And that's why a lot of people say that their hair is growing, but it stays the same length. That's why, because the ends are splitting up because their hair not getting a chance to breathe. So yeah, with protective styles, keep them in for at least 1.5 months and make sure you let your hair breathe. Okay, for trimming. So a lot of people think, well, I used to think that you're supposed to trim it every 3 months, which is not true. It's actually every 6 months. So make sure you guys keep your hair trimmed every 6 months. My problem used to be that I would have long and dead hair. I wouldn't want to cut it because I want to keep my length. But over time, you're going to realize that, you know, healthy hair, well, having healthy short hair is much better than having long dead hair. I learned that the hard way. So trim it every 6 months. And that'll also, you know, stop the cycle of your hair growing just for the ends to keep splitting. So yeah, make sure you get your hair trimmed every 6 months. Also, because when you keep your hair in protective styles, when it starts to shed, that's the best time to trim it because it's getting all the dead hair out, all the split ends, everything is just getting cleansed at once. So yeah, keeping your hair in a puff. A lot of people like to keep their hair down because they feel like their hair is free and they can breathe. The only problem with that is when your hair touches your, it comes into contact with your clothes and your different things like that. So that friction that, you know, goes on between the ends of your hair and your clothes, that's what makes your hair split at the ends as well. It makes them split, or it makes them become like a little brittle. Or you know how if you have natural hair and you blow dry or you straighten it, it'll be smooth till you get to the ends and it feels like kind of brittle and stuff like that. Yeah, so that's why when I have my natural hair out, I typically keep it up in a puff because of that reason right there. I didn't know that actually. I learned that like, I want to say 1.5 years ago. Yeah, so that's when I started keeping my hair like up. But also like, if your hair is in a protective style, then it's kind of different because when I have my twist out, my ends are like curled up. They're not like just out. So it's less likely for them to split like that or get more brittle. So that's why, you know, when I have my twists, I don't wear them up, I wear them down. Heat protectant. So what I mean by heat protectant is if you blow dry your hair a lot because of different protective styles, or if you straighten your hair a lot, you need to make sure that, well, one, you don't need to do it a lot. You need to do it like every now and then, because heat is like the #1 damager of natural hair. I've seen so many people with like pretty curls and then heat damage. It's so heartbreaking. So if you blow dry your hair, I guess often, you need to make sure you're using some type of heat protectant. You know, blow drying or straightening, or, you know, diffusing your hair or going under the dryer, any type of heat. You need to make sure you're using a heat protectant, and you also need to make sure you're not using too much heat, because some people, when they straighten their hair, they'll pass over it like 5-6 times. That used to be me. I'm gonna insert a picture of what my hair used to look like, because all these tips that I'm telling y'all is from experience. I used to have the worst hair because I wouldn't take care of it. And yeah, so heat protectant, you know, when you're flat ironing your hair, don't go over it 7, 8, 9 times. Yeah, because that's going over it multiple times is what damages your hair. Also with blow drying, make sure you don't put the blow dryer on the hottest setting. I know it's like 2 different settings. It's like one that controls how hot it is, and then one that controls the like how hard it comes out. I would say to have for the how hard it comes out, how hard it blows, and the strength of it, the force, put it on the highest. But for the heat, I would say either the lowest or the middle one, the medium one. And if you're going to use the medium one, you need to make sure that you use the cool button every now and then, just to make sure it's not too harsh on your hair. But yeah, these are just a couple tips that, you know, you can just implement into your everyday lifestyle, or, you know, you can start using them little by little. But these tips right here really helped me to grow my hair. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention, growth oil. So with growth oil, I tend to use those twice a week whenever I have my twist in, or whenever I have any type of protective style. That really helps. Growth oil really helps. But typically I like to put it on my hair at night because it's really, really strong. Like if you notice, growth oils come in they only come in small bottles. They're very strong. So I would say like put them on your hair when you have protective styles about twice a week, and I'm telling y'all, get the Jamaican black castor oil one. Anyone, either the Jamaican black castor oil one or the one that's called Wild Growth. Yeah, those growth oils really do work. But yeah, so washing with your fingertips, deep conditioning twice a month, keeping your hair moisturized, protective styles, trimming every 6 months, keeping your hair in a puff, and then heat protectant. So those are, you know, 7 major tips that I wish I would have had when I was younger and I had my long and dead hair. But yeah, these will help keep your hair moisturized. It will help your hair grow. If you're trying to like nourish your hair back to life or something like that, these tips will definitely help you. And yeah, so that's it for this week. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you guys will be notified every time I upload. Share this video with everybody you know. Comment below some other ideas you guys want me to film from you guys. And yeah, I will see y'all next week.